Welcome again to Stories 2 here. We're diving into another heart-heavy but important topic, the Charleston Church shooting by Dylann Roof.
Yeah, it's one of those events that shakes you to your core. Where should we even begin?
Maybe with the basics. On June 17, 2015, Roof killed 9 African Americans at Emanuel AME Church in Charleston.
It's heartbreaking. And the fact that it happened during a Bible study just makes it more chilling.
Absolutely. What struck me was that Roof had the clear intention of sparking a race war.
Right. He even confessed that was his goal. That wasn't random violence, it was planned hatred.
Speaking of planning, did you see that he spent months visiting historical sites related to slavery?
Yeah, like Sullivan's Island and Confederate cemeteries. It's like he was trying to connect himself to a twisted version of history.
He even had that last Rhodesian website where he posted racist photos in a manifesto.
That manifesto, it's disturbing how he rationalized everything, saying he was awakened by the Trayvon Martin case.
Exactly. He Googled black on white crime and said it changed him forever.
Which really shows how online radicalization can twist vulnerable minds.
No doubt. And what's even scarier is how he legally bought the gun despite a prior drug arrest.
That's right. The FBI even admitted there was a lapse in the background check system.
Small clerical errors, big consequences.
Massive ones. I read that Roof's friends knew he talked about attacking people but didn't really take him seriously.
Yeah, one friend even hid his gun for a while but gave it back. Like, that's just chilling.
It's one of those if-only situations you can't stop thinking about.
And when he was finally arrested, he was hundreds of miles away, heading toward Nashville.
Thanks to a sharp-eyed woman who recognized his car and haircut. Real hero moment.
Definitely. It shows how small acts of vigilance can make a huge difference.
You know what else stood out? Even after being welcomed warmly into the Bible study, Roof still carried out the attack.
That cold-bloodedness is terrifying. It makes you question how someone can be that devoid of humanity.
I think it also reflects how deep his radicalization went. Compassion just didn't reach him anymore.
True. And the manifesto was even time-stamped right before the attack. Talk about chilling timing.
The obsession with Confederate symbols and white supremacy is just so tragic and toxic.
It's insane how he clung to these outdated, hateful ideologies to justify mass murder.
And groups like the Council of Conservative Citizens came under fire afterward because Roof cited them.
Though they tried to wash their hands clean, it's clear that the rhetoric had an impact.
Hate speech, even if legal, can act like gasoline on a fire.
It's the reason why examining these hate networks is so crucial.
For sure. Also, I found it so human, in a way, that victims' families forgave him at his first hearing.
I can't even imagine the strength it takes to forgive someone who did something so horrific.
It's a kind of grace that's just overwhelming. I don't know if I'd have that strength.
Same. Forgiveness in the face of that kind of evil. It's almost beyond comprehension.
Roof didn't even show remorse, though, which makes it even more unbelievable.
Right, he seemed completely detached, as if he still believed he was justified.
And the sad part is he was only 21. So young, yet so consumed by hate.
Which makes you think about how early intervention might have changed things.
Maybe. But when someone fully embraces extremist ideas, it's hard to pull them back.
True. And he had dropped out of school, had no stable life, spent time isolated.
Isolation can be a dangerous breeding ground for hate, especially online.
Exactly. Without real-world connections to challenge toxic ideas, people spiral.
Speaking of spirals, Roof's life seemed filled with missed warning signs.
So many: drug abuse, arrests, online activities, none taken seriously enough.
A real failure across multiple systems: family, community, law enforcement.
And the consequences were absolutely devastating.
On so many levels: families shattered, a community traumatized, a nation once again confronting racial hatred.
And yet, amid the tragedy, the resilience of the Charleston community was inspiring.
They came together, showed unity, and refused to be torn apart by hate.
That's one thing Roof utterly failed at. He didn't start a race war.
Exactly. He only strengthened the resolve against hate.
It's a powerful reminder that darkness doesn't get the final say.
Amen to that. But it's a reminder that vigilance and empathy must be constant.
Yeah, and education too, so future Dylann Roofs don't take root.
It's heavy stuff, but necessary to face.
Absolutely. And maybe the best way to honor the victims is to build the kind of world Roof tried to destroy.
One based on understanding, justice, and unity.
Couldn't have said it better. Let's leave our listeners with this thought. What can each of us do to make sure hate doesn't find a home?
That's a question worth pondering deeply. Thanks for walking through this with me today.
Thank you too. And thanks to everyone listening. Stay strong, stay aware.